Today I thought I'll share some funny incidents that regularly occur in my gym. What happened was yesterday a freaking tall guy who's around 6'3" comes into the gym and he does ego lifting on every freaking exercise. Man, it was really hilarious. It was like a circus act going on in the gym. There's a pendulum squat machine in our gym and this fellow goes to that machine, loads up goddamn 140 kilos and then proceeds to perform a goddamn lunge on a pendulum squat. I think there is no wrong in performing a lunge on a pendulum squat machine, especially when you have maxed out the heaviest dumbbells in your gym. But the form in which he performed and the way he was ego lifting on that movement was hilarious. It was like a circus act going on in our goddamn gym. Today I thought I'll demonstrate how exactly he performed that exercise, which is the lunge on a pendulum squat, and you take home something from the demonstration. As we all know, we perform a lunge with a dumbbell, ipsilateral, contralateral or bilaterally this way, right? You grab two dumbbells or you grab one dumbbell and you perform like this. You take a lunge stance. Some people say that it's a warrior stance and you do this. We try to perform a full range of motion. At the bottom of the motion there is knee flexion as well as hip flexion. The knee flexion stretches the quadriceps and the hip flexion stretches the glutes. I'm not telling that the lunge is the best exercise to train your quads, but it definitely trains your quads with certain degree of knee flexion. But what about the glutes? There is a good degree of hip flexion when you perform a lunge. And definitely you might have noticed some DOMs the next consecutive days after you perform lunge in your leg workout. I think everyone would agree on this. You definitely have sore glutes after performing walking lunges on your leg day. But this freaking guy went to the pendulum squat machine, loaded 140 kilos as I mentioned earlier, took a wide lunge stance and was doing this. Dude, what were you trying to train with this so-called form of yours? The hip thrusting motion when you thrust your side cheek, or training your groin region or your mons pubis? I don't understand. Like, there is no degree of knee flexion and hip flexion with this kind of ego lifting form. I definitely agree with the point that you need to progressively overload. That means you need to add weight to the bar, lift heavier to build more muscle. But not to the freaking point that you add so much weight and you ego lift the goddamn weight and it looks so freaking funny, just like a clown doing some acts in the gym. Second exercise which the people in my gym regularly perform is a bilateral side bends. This is the way people perform side bends in my gym. They hold weights in both the hands and do this. Don't you understand basic physics? The weight in this hand is counteracted by the weight in this hand. So if you're performing side bends bilaterally, there is no force acting on the target muscle. Best way to actually perform side bends is to do it unilaterally. What you do is you take a weight in just one hand and then perform your side bends with the full range of motion. I've seen gym dudes ego lift on side bends too. Ego lifting on this movement is the easiest recipe to break your back. The third exercise which I see dudes perform in the gym is behind the neck pull downs. Definitely behind the neck pull downs is not bad if you can progressively overload on it and perform the exercise with a proper technique. But the gym dudes actually perform the exercise like this. They take the bar, the pull down bar, they go behind the neck and do this. Like, what are you trying to do? The snake act, snake dance? That's not how you are supposed to do it. Also, when it comes to a hypertrophy standpoint, a neutral grip pull down or a regular lat pull down is superior to a behind the neck lat pull down. The third exercise which I see people do incorrectly is the squats. So as I mentioned, there is a pendulum squat machine in our gym and people put on a lot of weight and just hoist the weight. They don't breathe and brace. They do not go to the full depth. They do not control the motion and the ego lift on this exercise. So the way they perform is they just put on weights, get down and do this. So what's the point? The aim is to get down into the pendulum squat machine. Take your stance. Breathe and brace. It is called the 360 bracing. And get down with proper form and control like this. Any form of squats, whether it's the pendulum squats, hack squats, barbell squats, is the best exercise to build massive quads. I definitely agree rectus femoris is not trained during squats, but you can add leg extensions to train your rectus femoris. Getting into a full range of motion during a quads maximizes knee flexion, which causes a better stretch-mediated hypertrophy. While performing squats, the aim is to control the weight, incorporate proper technique, incorporate proper breathing and bracing maneuvers so that you can perform the exercise injury-free. I definitely do not have the footages of these maniacs performing these ego lifting exercises in my gym. Who gives a damn? Let them do whatever the fuck they want. But the problem is that even if you go to rectify the error, those people act, oh man, I know everything buddy, I know everything, you mind your own business. Get yourself fucked. Who gives a damn, right? I hope you learned something from this video. While performing exercises, first learn the proper technique. Make sure you master the breathing and bracing maneuvers. People laugh at you when you're ego lifting, but people admire when you're lifting weights with proper form. Hope this message sinks in, and until then, peace out.
देखिए एक तो बेसिक ट्रिक है, एक तो लाइक और शेयर ठोक दीजिए महाकाल का दबा के लाइक और शेयर ठोक दीजिए 5000 लौटे दिख जाना चाहिए। ये 4000 के लिए मैं यहाँ पे नहीं खड़ा हूँ, पूरा साल मेहनत करता हूँ आपके लिए बेटा। ऐसा नहीं चलेगा, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा। लाइक ठोकी दबा के, लाइक ठोकिए। यहाँ पे देखिए ऐसा क्वेश्चन चुटकी